The following is a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.
Hello, Missourians, and welcome to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Coming to you live from the Pizza Ranch studio, even though it looks a lot like my house. But no, the Pizza Ranch is 7 locations across the state, and they host our tip-off club, quarterback club, and starting on Monday, the leadoff club. But before we can get to that, we got to get the basketball state championships out of the way, and we welcome to the network Springfield Sports Commission Executive Director Lance Kettering. And Mr. Kettering, thanks so much for your time today.
Happy to be here today. Thanks for the opportunity.
Are you getting any sleep?
We are. We've recovered. We're ready for week 2. Ready to roll.
Well, it's been an exciting event going on there. But you guys, not only with the Show Me Showdown, but you've got the National Christian Homeschool Tournament is in town. Talk a little bit about that and just the logistics of that with more than 300 teams, I believe, coming into town. And so hotel rooms, gymnasiums, and luckily everybody's on spring break, so you've got the use of the facilities. Talk about a little bit about that.
You're right. Yeah, this is the National Christian Homeschool Basketball Championships home for their national championships. And like you said, there'll be 358 teams here in Springfield for the entire week. They'll play Monday through Friday. We'll use 24 different gym floors in the area. The furthest we're away from one court to the others is about 25 minutes. So relatively close when you think about it. In the logistics of organizing, 358 teams for roughly 1,000 games. So we've been blessed that this group's been in Springfield since 2009. So certainly, our plans, carry over from year to year. It's kind of a well-oiled machine, and Rob Flatt and Zach Stargell, the two folks that are charged with running the championships, do a great job. And we're excited once again be that host for that championship.
And Lance, I know that all the time we're wanting these events, and you're kind of at the forefront of that. What are some of the selling points? I mean, obviously you've got Branson that's very close. The lakes there. You've got the Hammond's field, the Hammond's facilities, the high school facilities. What are some of the points that really have create that interest for people to come to Springfield?
Yeah, the events we bring to Springfield, I think probably the main selling point that we use and is well received is our central location in the U.S. The population center of the United States is just down the road close to Hartville. So it's an easy drive. We got I-44 access, just 3 hours from major metropolitan areas of Kansas City, St. Louis, Tulsa, just 2 hours from Northwest Arkansas. And you mentioned Branson. We use that as a tool as well as to entice folks to come to Springfield. Not only do you have all the wonderful things we have in Springfield, but you are just 35 minutes from Branson and the activities down there, whether it be shows, your mini golf, your bumper carts, to, all the great golf facilities now down in Branson. So, those are selling points we use, but affordable. To host any big event, you got to have the support of the hotel lodging community. And we've got 60 plus hotels in Springfield with around 6,200 rooms. So when there is a big event, we can handle it. And this week's a good example of that. Not only, as you said, the state basketball championships are also here this week for classes 4, 5, and 6. So there are, close to 400 teams in town this week just for those events.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And you look at, obviously you've got the advantage of, Stacy and Aaron Wells out at the new Allison Sports City, and that makes it nice with the facilities that they have. And then you add the field house onto it. You've got the 5 public high schools, the private schools. There's a lot of gym floors here in this immediate area, and that's got to be an advantage.
It is. It's amazing you bring that up. In 2009 when the event first came to Springfield, the courts was around, but there was no field house. There was no Stratford Sports Center. There was no Bobby Allison Sports Town. So, I don't want to say it's easier to find facilities, but it is easier because we've got 3 or 4 of those now with multiple gyms under one one roof. And that's what tournament planners want. They want as many courts under one roof as possible for economies of scale, for officials, and just running the operations of a tournament. But I will say this particular group, National Christian Homeschool Championships, they do want those gymnasiums such as the Ashcroft Center or O'Reilly Family Event Center or one of our great high schools in town, because they still want that big time atmosphere where folks are sitting in the stands and it's not just folding chairs on the side if it might be at another location. So we got a mix of it all, and that's great.
You mentioned the class, 1, 2, and 3 state championships were this past weekend, and just an unbelievable atmosphere. I'm fortunate enough to be a host. I had Lutheran North High School out of St. Louis, fantastic group of kids and coach. I really enjoyed meeting with them. I went and ate breakfast with them. I set up some things for them to eat, and that's got to be kind of almost a unique thing to the country to have hosts that meet them at the hotels. Talk a little bit about that, and you've still got this weekend coming up, but where does that come from?
Yeah, so the team host program is what Misha refers to it as, and that was, it's nothing new that wasn't done in Columbia, but we've tried to take it to another level or enhance things, if you will. That's where we have one or two folks like yourself that kind of adopt a team for the week. You meet them at the hotel. You help them with any of the situations that might arise when they're in town, finding out a good place to eat or attractions that are in town. The funny thing is, when we started the program 5-6 years ago, team host program, that was an intimidating word, team host. We had people telling us, I don't know that I want to do that. We peeled the onion skin a little bit deeper and go, why wouldn't you want to do this? And what we found was the word host, they thought they were actually having to host them in their homes. So I changed the word to team ambassadors. And suddenly we had all these people that are like, yeah, I'll be the ombudsman. I'll be the, as we call each other, as the blue shirts. They love doing it. So it's kind of funny. Just that simple change of the word, grew our folks that wanted to help with the event tenfold. So,
well, it's a fantastic event. It's and not only do the ambassadors get to know one another, and we're right here in locally, and I've met folks and still got some connections to some folks that I met through the ambassadorship through the Springfield Sports Commission. So it's been real rewarding for me and folks at the Missouri Sports Network. We love getting out to the games, and I cover tens of thousands of kids throughout the season, but rarely until this have I got an opportunity to actually put a voice and a face with those people that I cover. And so it's been outstanding for us to kind of be a part of that as well. And again, we're visiting with Springfield Sports Commission Executive Director Lance Kettering. And Lance, what are some things that you're working on right now that you're hoping to bring to Springfield?
Well, we've got a USA Pickleball Middle States Regional Championship coming to Springfield June 1 through 4. So that's a new event for Springfield. Pickleball has exploded, and we're blessed to have this event for 23 and 24. So that's coming up. In addition to the basketball championships, we host the tennis championships. Golf kind of rotates around, and we'll usually have a course every session. Softball, tennis, and baseball championships in Ozarks. So we work with that as well. We're bidding on some other events. One new venue in the Springfield area that's going to really lend well to our helping us in things we bring to town is the new arena at the fairgrounds, the Wilson Logistics Arena Fairgrounds. It's going to seat close to 6,500. And we're working with event planners across the country to kind of fill some dates there. Got my fingers crossed. USA BMX, which is an Olympic sport, will bring an indoor national to our city. But don't want to jinx that, but I probably already have jinxed it. But that is one we're working on and really looking forward to hopefully potentially hosting here soon.
And talk a little bit about how that came about, the Wilson Logistics building out there at the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds. Obviously, Wilson Logistics is behind it, but how did that come about, and how long has that been in the works?
Yeah, that is a project that's been spearheaded by the folks out at the fairgrounds, namely, the general manager out there, Aaron Owen, and his board of directors. They've done a great job of working that project. They were able to get some state funding in several legislative sessions ago. So that coupled with ARPA funding is really how that's come to be. Along with the blood, sweat, and tears of, like I said, that board and Aaron, who's made it their passion. And I'm really excited about it because that'll give a venue with plenty of seating, but it'll also, the floor space will be such that they'll have bleachers on the bottom floor level, but they'll retract. So you'll immediately have a bigger floor plan where you can do more things. Just as an example, you could do wrestling there. Whereas if you know our venues here in town, O'Reilly Family Event Center, JQH, Hammond Student Center, those seats are permanent on the lower level. So you really, you're it's fixed for a volleyball or basketball type floor. So that's what we're most excited about is with that arena at the fairgrounds, is the ability for those seats to retract in and out, and should give us the opportunity to bring some different events into Springfield.
Outstanding. Well, Lance, so we've got class 4, 5, and 6 coming to town this week, or this weekend, I guess. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday opens up Thursday with all the class 4s will be playing on Thursday. And just kind of tell us a little bit, what's your role during this tournament? I see you everywhere. What is your role there with Misha, and how do you partner up with them, and how do you aid in that on the game by game,
Sure.
so to speak?
Well, they've got a huge, group of volunteers and staff as well. We like to think of ourselves as kind of an extension of their staff when they're here, and that really can be, anything from, maybe, there were years we'd help with their halftime contest, to helping with the media food, to running errands. A lot of our work is done in prep of the event. Well before it comes to Springfield, but actually at the event, we're kind of we view ourselves as liaisons and ambassadors, if you will, for Springfield as well, much like you and the other folks. We kind of take charge of the team ambassador program. We meet and make sure they're all situated and have everything they need. Help with the honorary coaches program as needed. We hand out dry erase markers with Springfield Sports Commission branding on it, make sure those get to the coaches. But in general, I work with the table crews. I want to make sure we're all branded appropriately. And then that, for me, that's Sports Commission blue, just like my background. So we've got quarter zips for not only the team ambassadors and myself and our staff, but the table crew, because those impressions that you see on television or through a live stream, it just makes a difference. As opposed to maybe watching a game on TV and you notice that everybody looks different at the scorers table. I just like a nice, clean look, and that's something we do from the Sports Commission standpoint.
Yeah, and you've got folks over there working that table that have got years and years of experience, doing those types of things. And obviously you've got a tremendous staff that really kind of helps put all this stuff together. It's amazing what you and your staff have done, and I've enjoyed being a part of it.
It's been wonderful. And we had a great weekend last 1 through 3, close to 21,000 was the number that came through the first weekend. And in looking at the teams that qualified for 4, 5, and 6, I think there's several teams in there that are going to travel really well. And I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. We've had Kickapoo on. Of course, they'll travel well because they can walk. West Plains, they're defending state champion. They're going to make their way back. And Carl Junction, gets back to the Final Four because they went opposite West Plains, so they can only meet in the championship game. Had to visit with Coach Shorter here earlier as well, and they're excited about coming up, and they're coming up and staying the night. It's just an hour drive, but they want to experience that, staying overnight, staying in a hotel, and experience all the things that the Sports Commission provides. And just as a fan, I greatly appreciate it. As an ambassador, I greatly appreciate you and your staff reaching out. Have you gotten a hold of these coaches? And I'm maybe in a little bit of a unique position, as I've already got all their coaches' cell numbers. So when they hit, I just call them. I say, "Hey, I'm your ambassador. Where are you staying when you get in here?" But Lance, I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time today. Is there anything in closing you'd like to add?
Hey, I appreciate the opportunity anytime. But Sports Commission, we appreciate everybody's support, whether it's fans, players, coaches, these hoteliers. That's one thing we didn't bring up, but that's something we work in on the front end too. Is there's 16 properties that serve as those team hotels, and we couldn't do it without them, especially this week with 358 teams in town for the homeschool championship. So we lock those in well in advance, and just in general, I just appreciate everybody who has interest in sports, and it's really rewarding to work with folks like you that see the benefit of sports and sports travel and tourism. So I thank you, and thank you for the time.
You bet. Lance Kettering, ladies and gentlemen, from Springfield Sports Commission. He's the executive director, and hey, you'll see him in the blue shirts. We'll all be wearing blue shirts Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and invite you to come on out, see some great basketball, and a tremendous experience at Great Southern Bank Arena and Hammond Student Center this weekend. And hey, take in some of those. If you're a basketball nut, you got 12, 30, 40, 50 games a day you probably could get to with the National Christian Homeschool. But Lance, we appreciate your time.
It's been great. Thank you.
You're watching the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow.